Have you ever looked at someone, maybe a celebrity, a classmate, or even a stranger, and instantly thought they must be smart, kind, or successful just because they look good or had one impressive quality? If yes, you are not alone. This is something we all do without realizing it, and psychology has a name for it. That is the halo effect. It's a mental shortcut where one positive trait, like physical appearance, makes us assume a whole set of other good traits, even if there is no real proof. And today I want to show you how this invisible bias can shape our life, our relationships, and even our future without us even knowing. Let's start with a story. In a quiet town in France lived a girl named Clara. She was 22 years old, quiet, thoughtful, and loved photography. Clara wasn't someone who wanted to be in the spotlight. She preferred moments, sunsets, smiles, morning coffee, and she captured them all through her camera lens. One day, Clara got her first full-time job at a creative agency in Paris. She was excited but nervous. It was her dream job, working with designers, writers, and other creatives. On her first day, as she entered the office, she noticed someone standing by the espresso machine, Daniel. Daniel looked like someone straight out of a fashion magazine. Sharp jawline, perfect hair, white shirt, confident smile. People around him laughed. He looked powerful. Clara smiled politely and went to her desk, but something strange happened. Over the next few days, even though she barely knew Daniel, her brain started to make assumptions. He must be really good at his job. He probably went to a top university. Maybe he's kind and thoughtful too. And guess what? She wasn't the only one. Everyone in the office liked Daniel, even managers. Whenever Daniel spoke, people listened. When he presented an idea, everyone agreed. Even if his idea wasn't the best, people still supported it. But here's the truth. Daniel was not the most talented in the team. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't extraordinary either. His ideas were okay, he often missed deadlines, but people rarely criticized him. Why? Because he looked confident, spoke well, and dressed smartly. That was enough to create a halo over his head. This is the halo effect in action. Months passed and Clara started feeling invisible. She worked harder, stayed late, delivered great designs but got very little recognition. One day she shared a campaign idea in a meeting. The room was silent, no one seemed interested. Then Daniel spoke up and said something very similar and suddenly people nodded. One manager even said, "Great thinking, Daniel." Clara felt a knot in her stomach. Was it her fault? Was her idea really bad? That evening she ate in a cafe alone, confused. That's when her friend Elise called. Clara told her everything, and Elise said something that stayed with Clara forever. "Clara, you are stuck in someone else's halo." Let's pause the story for a moment and look at what was really happening. The halo effect is a mental shortcut. It's like your brain sees one good quality, like appearance, confidence, or fame, and assumes a person is good at everything else too. Psychologists first studied this in 1920. They found that when people looked at someone attractive or confident, they rated them higher in intelligence, kindness, and success, even when there was no real proof. This happens everywhere. In job interviews, in classrooms, in relationships, even in politics. We judge based on first impressions, and those impressions color everything else. That's the halo, a glowing effect around a person that influences how we see everything they do. And in Clara's case, Daniel had a strong halo. Back in the office, Clara decided to test something. At the next team meeting, she shared her idea again, but this time she printed it nicely and added visuals and presented it with confidence. Same idea, different presentation. And guess what? People listened. The same manager who ignored her before said, "This is strong word." Clara realized something powerful. It wasn't always about the idea, it was about how it was packaged and who was presenting it. She didn't hate Daniel. He wasn't a bad person. But his charm created an illusion, and Clara had been hiding behind self-doubt. From that day, Clara started doing things differently. She worked on her confidence, not just her skills. She started dressing better, not for others, but for herself. She spoke clearly in meetings, even when nervous. She stopped assuming others were better just because they looked the part. Over time, Clara began to shine in her own way, and Daniel, well, people eventually saw his patterns too, and the halo faded. So what can we learn from this? The halo effect is not always fair, but it's real. We all fall for it. Hiring someone because they look professional, trusting a speaker just because they sound confident, believing someone is kind just because they smile a lot. But these shortcuts can hurt us. We miss out on real talent. We ignore red flags in people. We judge others and ourselves unfairly. So, what you can do? Number 1. Be aware. Just noticing the halo effect helps weaken its power. Number 2. Look deeper. Ask, what's the actual evidence behind your judgment? Number 3. Be fair to yourself. Don't compare your real self to someone else's highlight. A year later, Clara got promoted. She was now leading a small team. And guess who joined as a junior designer? Daniel. They smiled when they saw each other. Clara treated him with kindness but also clarity. No halos, no bias. Just fairness. Because she had learned something the hard way. True value is deeper than appearance. Real strength comes from clarity. And confidence can be built. The halo effect is invisible but powerful. It shapes how we see the world and how the world sees us. So the next time you find yourself idolizing someone or doubting yourself, pause, look beyond the blue, and remember, everyone has a story, everyone has strengths, and not everything that shines is gold.